An interdisciplinary approach to sustainability is vital. If we think about the big challenges that are facing us in the 21st century, say something like climate change, and we need to have more low carbon energy, then a solution you might come up with would be a hydroelectric dam, a big dam producing electricity without the big carbon emissions of burning fossil fuels. And if we took that as an answer to sustainability, then that would be okay or all right for climate change. But it wouldn't take into account the impacts of the hydroelectric dam in terms of the water supply for everyone downstream, the biodiversity impacts of flooding a huge valley in terms of species lost, and the people that live there, the people that would have to move. So actually looking at sustainability in terms of solutions which cover all the bases, which take a holistic approach, is vital, so we get the solutions right rather than solving one problem but making another problem even worse.
People often think about social responsibility and sustainability in terms of individual issues, but actually they're all interdisciplinary. We could solve the world's biodiversity, climate change, and indeed population issues if we didn't have to deal with people. Essentially, people are the problem, and the moment you have an interface between technical and scientific issues and people issues, you have complexity. To deal with these issues requires interdisciplinarity. You can't address them in any other way. Every time you try to deal with one bit, say, of climate change, you'll find it has a relationship with another bit of climate change. The moment people become involved, then it becomes really messy. The only way I personally have found to resolve these issues is to recognize that initially anyway, we need to get used to not being successful. We need to get used to failure. We need to get used to working with a whole range of individuals who can support us as we do this. And we can grope our way towards an understanding in the future and then indeed action. So, to try to make some sense of this, I find that for me a personal approach is to first of all respect the complexity of the issues we're dealing with. Not everything can be simplified down to individual small issues. So that's the first C, if you like, complexity. The second is that it is really important to develop a connection to our planet and to our fellow humans. That's the second, connection. Then the third is that we need to recognize that there are consequences to our actions, to our every action. That doesn't mean that we don't do things. It does mean, though, that we're careful in our choices of what we do and how we do them. So that's the consequences. That's the third C. The fourth is then a notion of care. Throughout all of this, if we exhibit and demonstrate and maintain an ethic of care, then we start to make a difference. And in total, this becomes a notion of citizenship, what it means to be a citizen on this planet, along with all the other species and all of our fellow humans.